Willie D Live.
What was your initial reaction when she told you she was pregnant?
At a young age, I kind of was in this.
I'm talking about now. Like you're a child that you have.
I wouldn't say disbelief. I was just shocked because I thought that I had passed that point where, I do know that men make babies in their 80s and whatever. I just thought I was not really in that area where I would be told, hey, I'm pregnant. But so, love allowed me to let my guard down, and I think it was the right time and the right place. In the past, I thought it was a bad thing. In the past, I thought it was, you raised like that a little bit. They put this little stereotype on black men. The white guy, I'm pregnant. Oh yeah, and then the black man like, I'm pregnant. The black man like, what the fuck? That's a stereotype we saw as little kids that we what I'm trying to say. We perpetuated it throughout our adulthood. I try to break that chain in my life. I felt that way at a young age. We can't have this baby. Like, who knows what my teenage kid would have grown up to be. I might have had a business partner or something. That kid would have been 40 years old right now. You know what I mean? Mm. And I don't know if I did the right thing or not. Like, I just didn't want to continue that cycle. So when it did happen, I was happy as fuck. I was really happy. And then I went through the scared part. Like, man, my first time holding my baby, I was like, somebody help me. I didn't even know how to hold a baby. I didn't know anything. I didn't change a diaper for a year. Like, I was like, not touching that shit. I don't know. Like, it was fear.
Was you in the room for the delivery?
Right after.
Because you didn't want to be there? Or?
I didn't make it in time to see the birth.
All right, I gotta ask because everybody that's watching this is going to be like, okay, where were you?
But I didn't want to see birth. It wasn't.
Okay, so
I didn't want to watch birth.
Okay, so
I
purposely walked in late.
I share that opinion with a lot of men and women. Like, some say they want to see it, and some say they don't.
Man, for me, it was the most. Whoo, man.
You watched?
Look, I watched. Let me tell you this, bro. Hands down, the best experience I ever had in my life was when my daughter was born. That's my oldest. That's my first. The second best experience I've ever had in my life was when my son was born. Like,
so maybe I'll take your advice.
That,
I'll take your advice and watch next time.
Yeah, man.
And just see life.
That's something to see, knowing that you created
life.
You bring in life, a human being. Mm-hmm. You're responsible for that too. It's something to see. It's ooh, man, it's next level.
Okay.
It's next level emotion. Too Short legacy. What you want that to look like?
Well, that's what I'm working on right now. The most is what's the story, the after story after you're not here, and I think that the legacy has a lot to do with like a lot of people say is family, and the music is a legacy in itself. But then a lot of artists, and not just recording artists, but artists are like, you got to have something to go along with that. It's got to be a foundation or a cause or something that you spearheaded or that you stood up for. And I just think I've always been the giver of knowledge, man, just game. And I like to think that a lot of the people who I schooled and gave game to, helped get in the game, other people don't know what I did. And they're like, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So I think at this point, man, it's about foundations. It's about philanthropy. It's about giving back. It's about, building something. So I'm definitely going to continue to do what I've been doing, but I need to do it a little louder. And as of now, that is my mission, is to figure out what is that noise that I want to make that is not a song. And, one of these things, something is going to be it But I also believe that with a guy like me, it's going to be multiple it's. It's not going to be just one it. So, just stay tuned, man. That's why I haven't written a book or, put out the Too Short life story movie, because any story ain't over, bruh.
You got an idea for the film? The name?
People would think that I'll do a life story called Freaky Tales, but that's not really.
No. You're more than that.
Exactly.
It's gotta be bigger than that.
So,
But your title is in those songs somewhere.
Exactly.
It's in one of those songs.
The theme of my life has always been you got to know when to leave the party, because I found myself at some parties that were over, and I looked around. I'm the only nigga still in the club partying. Like, I'm with the staff party. I'm like, nigga, go home. Like,
see, I've never been that dude. I'm like, well, let me back up. When I was very young, I was that dude, but I learned that usually the later it gets, that's when people start acting a damn fool in clubs. And usually that's when the fights and shootouts happen after the club. Usually because a lot of dudes done struck out, didn't go their way, and, now they mad, and especially if you got a girl, you might have to try to, defend their honor, because some of these dudes, they don't have any type of respect for anything, including themselves. So I just noticed that a lot of drama happens in the late hours of the club, and when the club is over. So I always make sure that I leave the club before it closes.
Before it closes, yeah.
Not close the club down.
I did exactly the opposite, and I felt like if the club closed at 3 and it's 2:45, I'm thinking to myself, sad as it sounds, man, it's true. I ain't got nowhere to fucking go. Ain't nobody at home. Yeah. I'm 35 years old. Ain't nobody at home. And in my thoughts of writing a book, that reoccurring theme happened a lot in my life, where I'm like, why are you here at the club? They putting the tables up on the chairs on the table, and they counting out the money and shit, and you still hanging out, laughing and kicking with the staff and drinking after the club closed, and you have nowhere to go, man. So it's like, it's a sad reality that I can look back on now and say, damn, well, you was smiling and shit, but it was kind of dark. But at the same time, life of a rock star, bro. People say, I want that lifestyle. They don't really know what they're getting into, you know what I mean? And partially, if I wasn't such a rock star, I would have had the time to be a young family man, you know what I mean? I was keeping myself out of that. That's why I say I never knew when to fucking leave a party, because I'm at this nighttime party. When I go home from that, as soon as I wake up, I'm calling the people, and where the daytime party at, you know what I mean? And it was kind of like, you acting like I'm telling myself I'm having fun and I'm in the party, but in reality, I'm running from what I should be really doing, which is, making these beautiful human beings that would go out and carry on my legacy. You know what I mean?
But
I'm a late bloomer, Will.